Hi, friends. Thank you for joining me again today. We are going to do a level 1 beginner class. And this is my amazing husband, Nathan, who's going to be our student model today. Thank you, Nathan, for joining us. So go ahead and grab your mat, and we're going to start on our back. So, Nathan, go ahead and lie down on your back. Your feet can be flat on the floor, knees are bent. And then turn your palms open towards the sky. Soften the shoulders. And notice if your chin is jutting up towards the sky. Maybe pick up your head and place it back down so that there's a natural curvature to the back of your neck, to the cervical spine, but that there's no kink to the back of the neck. And then just notice your breath. Notice your inhalations, notice your exhalations. I always suggest to start from a place of stillness so that you can really become aware of the natural tendencies of your breath, maybe where you tend to hold contraction in the body, maybe places of spaciousness. Maybe even if there's any thoughts that are demanding your attention. And then once you begin to observe, you can move or choose to redirect your breath. You can choose to relax the body. You can choose to let the thoughts come and go without holding on to anything or rejecting anything. So then just begin to soften the breath, just taking out all the edges, make the breath really smooth. Maybe even putting a count to the breath, maybe even inhaling for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, without any retention, without any pause. The inhalations the same length as the exhalations. And as you continue breathing, go ahead and allow the legs to be flat on the floor, bringing your ankles together and flex the feet. That allows you to energize the legs. Then walking your feet over to the right. And you may already feel a nice stretch on that entire left side from the IT band all the way to the ankle. If you like a little bit more, you can take your torso over to the right as well. So you're creating a C shape in the body, like a banana. This is called banana asana. And if you still like a little bit more, you can take that left arm overhead. Now, be really mindful of the shoulder. If you have any shoulder projects, issues whatsoever, you don't need to take that arm over. You can have the arm in cactus shape or right next to you is perfectly fine. But really feel a beautiful opening, nice stretch on an entire left side. And even though you can't really isolate the left lung, can you begin to send your breath using imagery, using your visualization to send your breath to the left lung? Feeling as if each inhalation is opening the rib cage a little bit more, sending more breath to the lung, elongating that entire left side, all the way from the outside of the ankle through the outside of the hip, all the way to the armpit. And then slowly coming back to the center, just like we went in. So bring your torso back to the center and then walking your feet back to the center. And just pause here for a moment. Notice the difference. Notice the space you've already created in that left side. And then as you're ready, you're just going to move your legs all the way over to the left as far as you like to go. Notice that you don't really have to go that far to feel a nice stretch. You may already feel a stretch right here. If you like a little bit more, you can take your torso to the left as well. And then see if you want to take that arm overhead. Again, be really mindful that you're not going above your natural range of motion. And feel a nice opening, nice stretch all the way from the outside of that right ankle through the right hip, your right armpit. And then again, sending your breath to the right lung. Imagining that as you're breathing, you're opening the intercostal muscles, all the muscles in between the ribs. And this is the site that your liver is, so really creating space for the liver on the right side. Keep breathing into the right lung. And then slowly begin to bring your torso back to the center first and walking your feet back to the center. Just pause here for a moment. Notice the space you've created already just by a simple pose. And then drawing your knees to your chest, go ahead and put your hands on your kneecap, on your patella. As you inhale, press the knees away. And as you exhale, draw the knees a little bit closer to your chest. Inhaling, press the knees away. This is called Apanasana. Exhaling, draw the knees to your chest. This is one of my favorite poses in yoga. It's really therapeutic for your low back, but it also creates a nice compression in the hips and the knees. And these intentional compressions actually create a healing environment in the joints, allowing the synovial fluid and all the fluids to rush into those areas as you release out of the pose. And then gently bringing your feet back down to the floor and roll to one side and press yourself up to on all fours. So tabletop pose. And then stack the joints. So your wrist is directly underneath the elbows, directly underneath the shoulders. And then do the same thing with the knees. So you may need to bring your knees a little bit closer to each other so they're directly under the hips. And we're going to do some cat-cows in this pose. So as you begin to inhale, lift the chest up. Now notice if the head came up first. Can you draw the chin to your chest and lift the chest up, and then the head can come up if you like to. But this way you're not kinking your back, that you're lifting through the chest first, that natural curvature of the cervical spine remains. And then as you exhale, initiate the movement from the belly. Pull the belly and round the tail, round the tailbone, and round the chin. With your inhalation, your chest lifts up, the tailbone goes up to the sky. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the tailbone, and tuck the chin. Inhaling, open the chest to the front, tailbone goes up to the sky. Exhaling, the belly comes in, the tailbone is tucked, and the chin is tucked. Really rounding through the back, pressing your mid back towards the sky. Inhaling, the chest lifts up, moving with your breath. And exhaling, the belly comes in, tuck the tail, tuck the chin. Beautiful expansion in the back, really breathing through that expansion in the back, breathing through your backside body. And then bring your spine into neutral. And neutral doesn't mean flat, there's a natural curvature of the lumbar spine. And then go ahead and extend that left leg out behind you. Now find an imaginary wall behind that left heel. Flex your heel, flex your ankle, and really press into that wall. And exhale, lower the knee down. Inhaling, the right leg goes back. Find that imaginary wall again. Press your heel into that wall. And exhale, lower the knee down. Good. A couple more times, inhaling, the left leg goes back behind you. Really flex that foot. And exhaling, bringing the knee down. Inhaling, the right leg goes back behind you. Flex that foot. Exhaling, the knee comes down. And let's do this one more time. Inhaling, the left leg goes back behind you. Flex the foot. Pause here for a moment. Now, can you lift up through the inseam of that leg, lowering the left hip down towards the floor? Beautiful. Bringing the left hip down. Gorgeous. And then maybe begin to reach your right arm to the front wall. Inhale. Exhale. Lower everything down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting the right leg back behind you. Good. Lifting up through the inseam of that leg. And then extending the left arm in front of you. Maybe you can turn your palm so that the palm faces the midline of your body. Reach in both directions. Exhale, lower. And let's do this a couple more times. Inhaling, left leg goes back, right arm comes to the front, palm faces the midline of the body. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling, right leg goes up, left arm comes to the front. Reach in both direction. Exhale, lower. And one more time, inhaling, left leg, right arm. This is called bird dog, which is really great for strengthening the core, strengthening your back. Exhale, lower. Inhaling, right leg, left arm, reach away from the midline of the body and exhale, lower down. Beautiful. And then come all the way down on your belly. Very nice. Now, as you come down on your belly, bring your legs closer to each other and think about bringing your ankles closer to each other. They're not going to touch, but just think about bringing the ankles closer to each other. And then take your hands and put your fingernails on top of each other, and you can rest your forehead on top of your stacked fingernails. So this is called crocodile pose. It is a very gentle back bend. Allow the hips to be soft, your back is expanded, you're breathing into the backside body, really feeling the expansion on the backside. And feel the hand of someone you love touching the upper back between the shoulder blades, and send your breath to that space, expanding your lungs in the back. In fact, the majority of the lungs are in the backside body. So really send your breath to that space. And then slowly we're going to bring our elbows underneath the shoulders. Your forearms are resting on the floor, palms are flat on the floor. This is called Sphinx pose. So the elbows are right underneath the shoulders, palms are down, forearms are down. So this is a little bit of a deeper back bend than the crocodile pose. But what I like you to do is press your hips down to the floor, but really soften the glutes. So make sure that the buttocks are not squeezed, the legs are long behind you, and you're lifting through the front of your body. And as you do that, press your elbows down, draw your elbows a little bit closer to your hips as the hips are drawing closer to your elbows. And this way you can energize your front side body and lift up through the front into Sphinx pose. Inhale, lift the chest up, and exhale. You can slowly release the head, release all the way down, bringing the forehead down towards the floor. Good. And just rest for a moment. Bringing your arms out to the side. Bringing your arms out like wings. You can even maybe lower the arms to swept back wings. Good. Very nice. And then bringing your legs a little bit closer to each other. Press down firmly through your pelvis, and as you inhale, begin to lift the left leg off the floor. Now notice how that left hip wants to come up. Can you lower the left hip down and just lift the left leg up through the inner leg, through the inseam of the leg? Beautiful. And exhale, lower. Inhaling, lifting the right leg up behind you. Again, keep that right hip down. The right leg comes up, and exhale, lower. Inhaling, the left leg goes back up. The left hip stays down onto the floor. You're lifting through the inner leg, and then maybe lift the right arm off the ground at the same time. Good. And exhale, lower everything down. Inhaling, the right leg comes up, the inseam of the leg lifts up, and then maybe lifting the left arm up. Remember, again, if that hurts your shoulder, please keep the arm down. And then exhale, lower down. Very nice. Now keeping your arms all the way down. Inhale, lifting both legs off the ground. Beautiful. Make your legs longer. So think about not going up towards the ceiling, but elongating the legs as if your toes are trying to reach the wall behind you. Make the legs long. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Very nice. And then pause here for a moment, bringing your hands right next to your chest, your elbows behind you. So the hands are right next to the rib cage, elbows back behind you. Inhale, lift the legs up behind you. Good. Exhale, lower. Now this time as you're ready, inhale, press down firmly through your hands and begin to lift your chest up. Now as you come up, you can keep the elbows bent, soften the shoulders, let the shoulders fall away from each other. Release the shoulders. There you go. Keep the elbows bent. Yes, and the elbows come in right next to your rib cage. Beautiful. You can come down a little bit lower and all the way down. Nice. Now stay there for a moment. Inhale, lift the legs up behind you. Very nice. Now, if you like to press down and lift the chest up just a little bit into cobra, good. And exhale, lower. And just pause here for a moment. Pause here, relax the arms. Good. You can turn your head one way and relax. We can relax the arms. Good. Very nice. Relax the legs. You can shake your legs side to side. Shaking your hips side to side. Turn your head the other way and just pause. Good. So we're going to do this one more time. We're going to do another pose that I really like, Shalabhasana, that is really strengthening for your back. Great pose, very accessible for most people. So take your arms out in swept back wings. Good. And then bringing your forehead down to the floor. Your legs come together. Your ankles are coming towards each other. Inhale, lift the legs up behind you. Make your legs long. And then continue with lifting your chest off the ground. Very nice. And then maybe the arms can come up and you can fly. Inhaling, think about making your body long, not so much going towards the sky, but really elongating the body. Your crown of your head is reaching towards the front wall, as the toes behind you reaching towards the back wall. Shoulders are soft, you're reaching. Maybe inhale, come up just a little bit higher, and exhale, lower all the way down. Very nice. Beautiful work, Nathan. Press yourself back up to child's pose and just rest. Release all the muscles that you just worked. Allow the muscles to soften. Just let go. Continue breathing. And then very slowly, as you're ready, come up on all fours. And you're going to come all the way back on your back. Bending your knees, putting your feet flat on the floor. Just rest here for a moment. And then drawing your right knee towards your chest, you can interlace your fingers around the shin or the hamstring and bypass the rib cage so you can bring the knee a little bit closer to your right armpit. Just pause here for a moment, stretching out the low back, and then taking the outside edge of your right ankle on top of your left knee. And this may be good enough. You may already feel a nice stretch in that outer hip. If you want a little bit more, you can see if you want to pick up that left foot, but otherwise just stay here. This is a great stretch for that piriformis, the outside of that right hip. So just stay here and pause here. Allow the hip to open up. You can even do this by placing your left foot on top of a chair or a couch or even against the wall. And then releasing that leg, draw the right knee towards your chest, bringing the right foot down to the floor. Inhale, the left knee comes up, interlace your fingers around the left knee and bypassing the rib cage, taking that left knee a little bit closer to your armpit. And then see if you want to take the outside edge of that left ankle on top of your right knee and notice the difference. We're all asymmetrical. So notice this side might be a little bit tighter or softer, whatever. It doesn't matter. Be at peace with wherever your body is. Allow that left hip to open. So the intention of our practice is not just to get into shapes or move from shape to shapes, but really to allow the body, the energy to move in the body. So if there's any stagnation, any habitual contraction of the muscles, these poses are meant to allow us to release the habitual patterns. And in that sense, they become transformative. Our practice begins to take another shape, that it's not just about exercise or jumping up and down or doing handstand, but it really becomes more about moving energy. And then slowly coming out of the pose, begin to extend your legs flat on the floor. So even if you do a short practice, I always suggest that you end with Shavasana. Let the toes fall apart from each other. Your heels are mat width apart. Let the palms be open. The back of the scalp resting on the floor. Forehead is smooth. Eyes sinking into the sockets. Tongue is heavy. Let the breath go. You no longer have to control your breath. Just allow yourself to come into stillness so you can rest. As you rest here, just let your body rest completely. And allow yourself to give yourself appreciation for your body exactly the way it is, and gratitude for making the time to take care of yourself. If you're ready to continue with the rest of your day, gently begin to deepen your breath. drawing your knees to your chest one at a time. And then notice which nostril you're breathing in through easier. Just roll over to that side and rest for a moment. And rest knowing that you have just created space within the body to allow the energy to flow. And sealing the class with a moment of stillness, just like we did at the beginning of the class. Begin to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands to your heart center. Thank you, Nathan, for allowing me to teach. Namaste. And thank you all for joining us tonight.